Get it going here. That's right.
All right, now I'm back.
Keep moving the camera into places.
We're gonna start. Welcome to the February 1st, 2021 Jamestown Rotary meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please welcome Sue Jones. No, wait a minute. Becky Robbins will give our invocation.
Okay. Sunlight glistens on his whiskers as Mr. Groundhog cautiously pokes his head above his earthy burrow. He eases to his haunches, twists his fuzzy ears, and listens for signs of danger. Then he sees this big black spooky thing looming in front of him, and he's gone. His shadow has sent him fleeing back to the safety of his den. This means, according to legend from Great Britain and Germany, that winter will last another 6 weeks. I, for one, like a sunny day, especially in February. How silly to let a shadow spoil it. But I wonder how many times have I retreated from opportunity because I was frightened by a shadow called uncertainty or inadequacy. Perhaps my fear is as unfounded as the groundhog's. I have an idea this Groundhog Day, tomorrow. Despite the scary shadows in front of me, I'm going to take one small step towards something I want to accomplish. I'm going to accept that invitation to do something new, even though I'm nervous. How about you? Are you thinking about accepting a new job, going back to school, or learning how to snowshoe? Then why don't you make that phone call or write the letter that could change your life? After all, even the timid groundhog eventually raises his head, takes a whiff of clover, and scurries from his hole. Let us pray. Dear Lord, this Groundhog Day, give us the courage to confront our shadows. May all Rotarians enjoy the fun of Groundhog Day tomorrow and consider conquering any fears or uncertainties we may face. Amen.
Amen.
That was great.
That was great.
I like that.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
Just the way Dale wrote it.
Any visiting Rotarians or guests? I didn't notice any in the listing. None? Okay, welcome to some faces we haven't seen in a while. Good to see you, Dick. Any other folks we haven't seen in a little while? Let's see. Okay, we got a full house today. So let's repeat the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth?
Is it the
The
truth?
truth.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it
Is
fair?
it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And
Will
when
be
it
beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to announcements. I'd like to recognize a Rotary Youth Recorder today. Sue Jones, right?
No,
No, is it Eric?
no.
It's Lynn Gruhl.
I knew.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yay, somebody's got to send me some new information.
Oh, honey, you did.
Never mind, won't go into it. Okay, any committee chair announcements? Because I don't have any announcements other than that.
Yes, the Literacy Committee.
Okay.
The Literacy Committee is
Yay.
going to have a Zoom meeting on February 11th at noon. That's next Thursday, the 11th at noon. And we're excited. We're excited to get back together again.
Good, good. Any committees want to make any announcements? Is Tori on with us or Randy Sweeney? I don't think so. The membership committee's been making phone calls to some of our members who haven't been on the Zoom meetings. And that's turned out to be a good exercise for them and keeps us in contact with people. So I know they're busy doing that. Any other committee reports?
Joni, it's
Yeah.
Michelle. Can I just mention district news?
Sure.
March 16th through the 20th is going to be the virtual district conference. Just because we can't meet in person doesn't mean that it's not going to be exhilarating. Word on the street has it that Jennifer Jones, the very first female international Rotary president, may make an appearance. There's several other outstanding speakers. There's going to be a diversity breakout room, what Rotary is going to be looking at like in the future. There's even a chance to participate in some global grants. There's going to be 2 to 3 evenings and then a Saturday. You're going to be finding more about it through the newsletter, through email, and then the Public Image Committee will have it on social media. After that, the week of April 17th, Earth Week, is going to be the watershed cleanup. So Rotary clubs throughout District 7090 are going to be working together to clean up either lakes or ponds or beach fronts, whatever we have. And of course, here in Chautauqua County, we're rich in all three. So we'll be finding more about that as the time gets closer.
Okay.
Joni, maybe I'll just talk real quick about
Think
what we
you
were
should.
speaking about earlier. The international projects have been a little bit stalled lately, and since we can't travel around, but
Yeah.
we have been in contact with the club in Pakistan, and I was interested to notice when we talked last week that Pakistan is one of the only 2 countries where we still have this polio virus, and it's been a main thing that Rotary Club's been involved with for a while. So I made contact with the club that we work with in Karachi and said, what are you doing? What are we doing with polio? How do we take Pakistan off the list? So we're talking about sponsoring some inoculation vaccination camps. She's going to be working with the state and the local authorities on this and see if we can pull together a way that we can participate directly in that. And maybe arrange some camps and things like that to go out into the small villages. That's where we are with it. I don't know where that's going to go, but it's a place to start.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Joni, Doug here. I had a question for Michelle. The waterways cleanup, what was that date? I didn't get it noted.
That's okay. Let me check.
April 17th.
April 17th. It's so because that's actually Earth Day, but we do recognize that not everybody can get out on one single day. So it's going to encompass the whole week.
Okay. For your information, the Conowongo Creek Watershed Association, which Conowongo goes from New York to Pennsylvania here in our area, they have scheduled May 15 for a cleanup of the Chautauqua Lake outlet creek from the lake down to Warner Dam. So that's something that perhaps Rotary could tie into. They're always looking for volunteers in that regard.
Excellent.
That's a month later, but the ice goes off the lake, variable here around the 10th of April, sometimes earlier, sometimes later.
Sure.
So depending on what conditions are, then people may not be out as much here on Chautauqua Lake.
True.
In April, but somehow maybe those 2 dates could be coordinated.
Sounds great. Thank you for the information.
Hey, Joni, Mike
Yes.
Bird here.
Yeah.
I might as well talk about golf quickly. I don't have anything really to report, except for the fact that I talked to Phil recently. We thought maybe it might be beneficial if we try to get a later date than July, just in case, because it's so iffy right now still. So I got an email into that Ben Windoff asking for an August date, possibly. So later I'll report if I get a date.
So obviously the June date is not happening.
Well, I think it was, wasn't it July? If I remember
No, it
right.
was the beginning of June.
Okay, then. Well, we'll try August. We just thought June, if we kept the same date, it's at this point running just too iffy and too close that I'd hate to have to cancel it again. I think we have a better shot if we have a later date. So we'll try that if that's okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other reports? All right, why don't we roll into the birthdays, Sue? You're muted.
Unmuted now. I'm excited because today I get to talk about workings of the foundation, which is the beneficiary of all of our birthday monies. If you have a birthday and are not a member of the Paul Harris Sustaining Club, usually we donate $1 for every year of your age. And if you are a member of the Paul Harris Sustaining Club, you donate $100 every year on your birthday, until you reach $1,000, and then you become a Paul Harris Fellow. So today, I talk about the foundation all the time, and it's kind of nebulous and out there. We all know that it does absolutely wonderful things, but this time it hit home. We have been working for the past 2 years with 13 other clubs from our district, 7090, to actually make this project come to fruition. It is a new school in Nakumba, which is Uganda. And it has finally gotten through all the paperwork and all the global grant brouhaha. And we are well on our way to putting that school up. And this is thanks to the leadership of the St. Catherine's Rotary Club and our generous donation, I believe, of $800 from our club. So now you know that your money donated really does work. We are committed to helping young people, committed to education, and that part of the world is desperate for our help, and we're coming to the rescue, Rotary to the rescue. And I have told you several times, Rotary takes ordinary people and gives them extraordinary opportunities to do more with their lives than they ever dreamed possible. And here we are. It's right here on our plates. So today, February birthdays, we celebrate Joel Kiefer, February 1st. And he is among the missing as well because he's a sales consultant at Schultz Nissan Subaru. He attended SUNY Fredonia. He's a member of the Paul Harris Sustaining Club. He was sponsored by Randy Sweeney in 2011. Anna Woldemuth, also among the missing because I know she works on Mondays. Her birthday is tomorrow. She's an optometrist at Spectrum Eye Care. She attended Rensselaer Polytech Institute, Pacific University, and the American Lake Veterans Hospital, where she did her residency. She's sponsored by Greg Jones. And then we have Jim Gaminia, whose birthday is the 3rd of February. He is the president for the past 10 years of the Jamestown Musical Association. He went to JCC, Gannon. He got his law degree from LaSalle University. He's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army. He had 32 years of active duty, And his sponsor was John Lloyd. Thank you, John. I don't know where all these people are. I hope they're someplace warm. John Saff, his birthday is on Valentine's Day. He is the retired vice president trust officer for M&T Bank. He attended JBC and JCC. Ooh, JCC. And he's also a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member and a wonderful golfer. He's played in the golf tournament every year. Don Weaver, his birthday is also on Valentine's Day. He's the chairman of Weaver Material Service Incorporated. He's a graduate of Alfred University. He's a member of the Paul Harris Sustaining Club, and he was sponsored by Dudley Erickson. And last but not least is Sandy Hatfield. Her birthday is February 15th, and she is a senior accountant at Weber Knapp. She's a Paul Harris Sustaining Club member, and I'm not sure, I think Stacy was her sponsor. With a question mark, I say. So let's say, I don't think we'll sing today. We'll say happy birthday to our Valentines, and our winner of a free lunch is Jim Gaminia.
Thank you, Sue.
Yep.
Happy birthday to everybody.
On the internet, lunch is a cracker.
Anyone have any happy bucks before we get into our presentation?
My wife does.
All right.
I just got off the phone making her reservations for Mexico next year, January and February, so she can pay a happy buck.
And I have a happy buck for, and I'm going to put in 5. It's for Amy Roller and her crew.
Oh,
Amy Roller, you have done a fantastic job with the United Way. And to all of our Rotarians who helped out, God bless you all. This is just so exciting in this day and age to make this better than meeting goal. It's wonderful. Congratulations, Amy. And your way of celebrating was fantastic on the internet as well.
Sure was. Anyone else?
I have 2.
Go ahead, Mike.
Being one of the chairs of United Way, I'll put in 20 for that. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but that is my grandson skiing downhill yesterday, the big mountain.
Woo!
So
Put it right in front of you, Mike.
Yeah, put it in front of your body and then it doesn't fuzz out. Bring forward, come forward.
Oh, there it is. Look at him.
Oh, there he goes.
He is.
Very nice.
Oh,
Very
the
nice. You don't have to go to
first
the
time on
hospital
the
to
big
visit.
mountain yesterday, he zoomed it down. We did great. No broken bones. God is good.
Good.
how old is he?
He is 9.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah,
And
no fear.
My 4-year-old grandson is skiing the big hill as well, with his teacher. So I'll write a check and get it into the club.
Thank you.
Other happy bucks.
Hey, Vince here.
Yep.
Yeah, our oldest granddaughter, Megan, just got a lead role in Little Women, performing in Tampa this April. So we'll be heading down to see our superstar granddaughter. And as a member of the United Way board and one of the campaign chairs, I'm in with Mike. I'll do 21 bucks, 1 for Megan and 20. I got to match Mike. So congratulations, Amy and staff and all the people that raised the money. So important, especially this time of year. Thanks.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm another one of the chairs. I'll match Mike.
Terrific.
And I'm not a chair, but I'm a board member, so I'll match your match. So,
There we go.
We'll sign you up, Marion.
They're probably looking for next year already.
I think that might be a conflict of interest for her.
Yeah.
Enough to raise, yeah.
Any
I'm
other?
I'm not a chair or a board member, but I'll match too.
Thank you, Sally.
You're welcome.
They do great work. Anyone else? I don't even think Amy's on our call anymore. I think she had to step off, or I'd ask her to say something.
I have a happy buck that doesn't seem like a happy buck on its face, but my 2-year-old nephew, Charlie, had surgery this past week, which again, doesn't sound happy, but he was born with a condition called spastic diplegia, which means that he wouldn't have been able to walk unassisted had it gone on its own. And he got this groundbreaking surgery this past week. There's only one guy who does it in St. Louis. So I'm pleased that my brother and his family were well enough to be able to travel, and I'm pleased that they were able to get into this surgery, and it all seems to have gone very well and is already showing results. So some
Wonderful.
very interesting happy buck news for me this week, and yeah,
Wonderful.
happy
Good
to be able to
news.
share it.
And his twin is okay?
His twin, yeah, was not born without, or he was born without the disorder. Only one of them had it.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wonderful news.
Yeah.
Other happy bucks.
Put in. Joni,
Yes.
I copied the happy buck link too, so I'll submit that. And if I have a problem with it, I'll ask you for the link again.
Okay.
Just always seeing Deb Kaplan at these meetings, it brought my memory back to a day that she was coming down to Dunkirk to do a yearly evaluation, and I was a bit comatose and upset and in tears because at that time my not quite 17-year-old daughter had announced to the family that she was pregnant, and Deb was in town the day after that. And long story short, that little girl, that was my little girl's daughter at the time, is now 11 years old, and she sang a solo at our family funeral and sounded every bit of the angel that she is. So it's really funny how things come full circle. I'm sure Deb remembers that day quite well. I was not the typical smiley, composed Michelle. So that's my happy find for the day.
Thank you. All right. Here, not anyone else. Going once, going twice. All right, gone. Let's welcome Kirk Young, who is going to introduce Maria Kindberg.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you all again, and it is wonderful to get that dose of happiness that all of you have just shared. And it's nice to get that nowadays. So thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Maria Kindberg. Some of what I'm going to share here, just as a quick introduction, will be a bit of a repeat for those of you that have been listening or have been attending for just the last few months as we just inducted Maria into the club. But Maria Kindberg currently serves as the Executive Director of the Jamestown Community College Foundation. Prior to her current role, she served as the college's Dean of Arts, Humanities, and Health Sciences. And before that, she was the Director of our College Connections program. Maria held several leadership positions during her 12 years in the Chautauqua County Legislature and has served on several volunteer boards. Currently, she serves as the president of the Reg Linnae Center for the Arts. Now, the Jamestown Community College Foundation was established in 1983. This foundation exists for the exclusive purpose of benefiting Jamestown Community College. The JCC Foundation is an independent, not-for-profit organization which develops, maintains, and manages an endowment to support projects and activities deemed to be compatible, complementary, and consistent with the mission of the college. And as the vice president of the college responsible for students, I know that the foundation provides a significant amount of funding to help our students be successful here at JCC, and we're extremely grateful for all the work that the foundation does. So with that, I will turn the time over to Maria.
Thanks, Kirk. And is my audio okay?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. I sometimes have issues with it, so if that happens, please let me know. So I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today about the Jamestown Community College Foundation. And I noted that not only is Kirk here today, but Mike Moots is also here. So we have two past foundation executive directors. So if I screw up, it's not going to slide by. They will be able to call me on it. But I just want to share an overview of the foundation and what we do and what some of our current activity is. So as Kirk already pointed out, we do exist for the exclusive purpose of benefiting JCC. So we do not grant awards to any organization or any person outside of the college. We're here solely to support the college. And we are an independent 501c3. So while we are housed at the college, we are a completely separate entity. And we have our own operating budget. So we work hand in hand with the college, and each year work with the president and with the president's cabinet to determine what the funding priorities are for the college. And then we seek financial support for those. So we're involved in that all of the time. You will probably recognize some of the names. These are our board of directors. We are governed by a board of directors. Tim Piazza is our current president, and looking through the list, you'll no doubt recognize names, at least one of whom is among us today. So we have a very active board, several committees. There are 4 committees on the board, and they meet prior to every board meeting. The board meets quarterly, and they do some tremendous work. And as you can see, some very well-connected, very active members of our community have agreed to serve on the board. So we're very grateful for the time that they dedicate. In addition to me, there is a staff of 3 here in the foundation. So we're a pretty lean organization. But Heather, Kim Rowe, and Carissa have all been here for a number of years, are very familiar with the operation. I have only been here since August, so I am the newbie on the staff, but I'm very much enjoying working with everybody. So our basic work is to raise money to support the college and to even more importantly, support its students. So last year we awarded, as you can see, over $580,000 in scholarships to 316 students. In addition to that, we also entertain requests from the college from time to time when there are special projects for which they need support, or in the case of last year with COVID, some emergency funding that we made available to the college. So while our general focus is definitely on raising scholarship money for students, we also are involved in some of the operating for the college from time to time. So we have assets of approximately 24 million right now, and those are our endowed funds. We have 38 endowed tuition scholarships and 23 USA tuition scholarships, an additional 35 general endowed funds, and 77 pass-through accounts. So the work of the foundation is overseeing all of these endowments. Now, when people see that 24 million in total assets, I think it's easy for some to say, well, they're sitting pretty, there's probably not a need for more money. What I want to point out is all of these endowed scholarships that have been given to the college over the years, given to the foundation over the years, have very strict guidelines as to how the money can be drawn. So the tuition scholarships, those 38 tuition scholarships that exist, the founders of each of those set the parameters. So some dictate that they go to students with, for example, a certain GPA, students studying in a certain discipline, some just for student athletes. So that depending on the fund, it can be very specific who can receive the funds. So we certainly do not have 24 million at our discretion to spend. We spend a very small portion of that, and then we go by the guidelines established by each of the founders of the funds to determine which students might be eligible for those. But we have been very fortunate. As you know, our community is very rich in foundations that are supported by very generous, very gracious donors. So we've been the stewards of that money for quite a few years, and really rely every year on generous donors to keep these funds growing. And also our pass-through accounts, those are not endowed funds, but they, like the endowed funds, are established by folks who set very strict parameters for how the money is used. So we try to the best of our ability to always find as many students as we can who can benefit from any of these funds. Right now, we're very much involved in our annual appeal. And my guess is that many of you listening to me today received a mailing this year for our annual appeal. We have, for the first time in a number of years, done a very segmented appeal. So we had different letters going out to alumni, to general donors, to faculty, to retirees, and to staff. And we decided this year to make our asks very personal. So in each of these areas, we had champions who authored letters for us and sent them to kind of their affinity group. So these are actual champions that you're seeing, these pictures. And luckily, we kind of took this route after we had consulted with a group, Strategic Solutions, who came in and did some focus groups for us. We were really very interested in talking to each of our affinity groups that you see here and trying to determine what was important to them, how they wanted their money to be spent, what they thought the priorities of the college were. And we learned some things, we uncovered some things that quite frankly really surprised us. And throughout those discussions and in those talks, we learned that people really wanted to have a greater stake in what the foundation was doing. They wanted to feel more connected to it. They wanted to understand its priorities more. They wanted to be involved in the appeals. So we had a long list of people who were willing to step up and take a pretty public role in our fundraising this year. And it's difficult to fundraise right now, as many of you know. People are being asked to give now more than ever. The need is certainly greater than it ever has been. So we really needed to make sure that we were honing in on what people thought to be most important, what they believed the most critical needs were, and really make sure that we were spending their money and that we could demonstrate to them that we were spending their money the way they wanted us to. So we took into account the needs of the college, the needs of individual donors, and the needs of those for whom we were raising funds. And we did quite a bit of work with our focus groups and with our outside organization, our consulting group, to really help us find the intersections of all of those needs, to try to bullseye that, I guess, if you will. And again, we had these group that stood up for us and said that they would lend their names, they would lend their faces to the campaign, and that they would work behind the scenes to try to help us increase the giving this year. So very fortunate that we had these folks. We did set pretty much, well, we had stretch goals, and of the 6 different segments that we have reached, we have already hit our target. We started on December 1st, and we have hit our target in 5 of those segments already. So again, this community is extremely generous, and we knew that going in. We were a little bit conservative, knowing that this was a very difficult time for people, but just wanted to share. These are some of our champions. This is a faculty champion, Jessica Kubiak. Some of you may know her. She was an English instructor on the Cattaraugus County campus for a number of years and took my place as the interim dean once I left academic affairs and came to the foundation. So she has been instrumental in helping us, as have been a number of students. So Taylor Haight, one of our students who wanted to be a part of our appeal. It was amazing to me in reaching out to students how many of them already knew about the foundation, because obviously they had benefited from the funds. So we had a number of students who kind of wanted to pay it forward. And while they're not in a position to give right now, they have offered their time helping behind the scenes and have allowed us to use their images and their quotes as part of our campaign. And that, yes, there's actually a butterfly on her face. So another one of our students, Jackson, who is doing an internship right now with the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, and has really become an outspoken student in the student body, and has really helped us in reaching out to other students. So this is the approach that our appeal has taken this year. And again, I'm sure that the letters that some of you received, there were different champions on each of those. But we are continuing to work to raise funds. The need, as I said before, is even greater now for the college. And as the college works to reshape some of the directions in which it's moving, the foundation is certainly going to be there to support that. And the college is doing some exciting work. And I think that there will be more public announcements made about different directions that the college will be taking. And so as the college changes direction, so will the foundation, to embrace that and to help raise funds. So that's probably a fairly short presentation, but that I wanted just to provide an overview of who we are, what our relationship is to the college, and what our current focus is. So right now, our focus is on the annual appeal, and that will run through March. So if you have not already, it's not too late to support the foundation's annual appeal. And really our work internally with faculty and staff. We've done quite a bit of work with the faculty and staff this year because we want very much to demonstrate to external donors that we have very broad internal support. And quite frankly, it hasn't always been the case here at the college that there has been internal support for the foundation. We've worked very hard, and we've seen some tremendous gains in that area. So still really targeting faculty and staff. At a later date, we will share with the public the level of support that we've garnered internally, and hopefully that will also help us leverage some external support. That's what we're doing right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions, anyone? Oh, David has a question.
I don't have a question, but I have a couple of points that I would like to make. One is the importance of JCC to the community, and especially to the healthcare community. We happen to have one of the best RN nursing programs probably within the United States. And in no way is an RN going to move from Chicago to Jamestown, New York on an RN salary, except for my wife,
Except
of
for
course.
me.
But, but anyhow, that school furnishes most of the RNs in our whole area. And I'm not talking just about Jamestown. So without that RN program, we would be a sinking ship when it comes to nursing care. So it's just a wonderful thing. And the second thing is, a long, long time ago, some captain got out of the Army and he said he wanted to make a career change. So he decided to go into optometry instead of law. And he had to go to school, even though he had his bachelor's degree, to get a lot of sciences and math. And he talked to the school, optometry school he wanted to go to. And she said, where are you going to get that? And I said, Jamestown Community College. And her response was, we do not accept credits from community colleges. Well, my top pay in the Army was $474 a month. So I had to really plead. And I said, this is just not your average junior college. It's a really good one. Could you just please check? She said, I will do that. She did check. She came back and said, you are right. It's a wonderful institution. Just make sure you come out with a 4.0. So anyhow, JCC really was a big deal for me. JCC is a big deal for this area. And thank you for all who support it.
Well, thank you. Two wonderful points that you've made. Our RN program is very well ranked. We have great outcomes when it comes to the licensure exam at the end of that program. And thanks to the support that we've received, we were able to actually increase the cohorts in the last couple of years. The number of students being admitted to our RN program has almost doubled. So, and that's certainly a credit to the faculty in that program. I used to work with them very closely, but they did double the size of the cohorts without increasing the number of faculty members in the department. So they do amazing work. And Greg, your story is just the kind that we like to hear. So we do like to keep track of our alumni and highlight their stories. And the longer I'm affiliated with the college, the more stories we hear. So it is gratifying to know how much impact we've had in the community.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
It's a really simple question. Earlier in your graphics, Maria showed a picture of the tuitions and the scholarships are available. And I noticed one was called USA. And I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, we do have a number of USA funds. Those are funds that are dedicated for graduating seniors throughout our service area who are in the top 20% of their classes.
Okay.
So they are frequently referred to as our top scholars, and it's become a very well-known brand, the USA Scholarship. And in fact, I was just today reviewing thank you notes that our top scholars had written to the foundation and to the college. And it's always so gratifying to hear their stories.
Do we
I was lucky enough to get one of those.
So did I.
I was a recipient as well.
See?
Rotary Club donated 15,000 to those scholarships.
Great. Do we get any international students in JCC?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we certainly do. In fact, we have a growing number of international students, and Kirk can probably speak to that better than I.
Yeah, we prior to the arrival of President DeMart, we kind of hovered around a couple of dozen international students. Since the arrival of President DeMart, he has extended the challenge to our international recruitment team to get up to 100 international students. We were on track to get there next year. COVID kind of derailed us. I'm sure know that it become very, very difficult for international students to get into the country during COVID. And so right now we're down to about 30 international students, which is still a significant number for us. I was in a meeting this morning where they said next fall, the goal is to get back on track to get to 100.
So predominantly what country?
Ooh. Somebody who's on phone.
What is that?
Somebody's phone. Somebody's on phone.
You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Joni, I think that's coming from you.
So what did you say, Kirk? Predominantly what countries do we get our international students from?
Right now, they're coming from Asia, primarily Central Asia. That is, right now where the majority of them are coming from. However, we do get some from kind of all over. We do get a lot from Australia, our student athletes. We have a soccer coach who does a lot of recruitment in Australia for soccer players. And then this morning, I just heard that SUNY is introducing a new initiative to target Central and South America. And so we'll be entering into that arena here very soon. Part of the strategy always has to deal with, finding countries that have, the household income levels to be able to afford to come to the United States and to study.
Right, true. Okay, well, thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, I just have two thoughts. One is I really like the engagement strategy on the annual drive, on the annual campaign. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
And congratulations on moving on that. That's a great thing, great approach. It'll pay off a lot in the long run. The other thing is the question was asked about the impact of the college. And one thing I learned while I was there was it's not only in the Rotary Club where there are a lot of members who have benefited from USA and other scholarships in the college, but throughout the entire region that is served by the college, a great majority of the alumni of the college live and work their entire lives in this area and contribute to the economy and the leadership and all that. So when you wonder what is the payoff for me in terms of investing in the community college, it really has a direct tie to the development of the workforce and the economy locally, way beyond what you see when you think of JCC. It goes much deeper than that. So I just wanted to add that to the thought. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. And I do believe that workforce readiness is going to be one of the college's main priorities this year moving forward. So the foundation will be searching for funding to support those efforts. Michelle?
Maria, for the RNs who graduate from your nursing program, do you know what the percentages who remain in Chautauqua County?
Oh, I don't know the numbers, but it's the vast majority remain in Chautauqua County. And the majority of them go directly to working in healthcare facilities. Some go directly on for their bachelor's degree, and many do both. They continue their studies part-time.
That's excellent, because Brooks Hospital is having a severe crisis with registered nurses right now. They're hiring all agency nurses, which is pretty much kind of killing their yearly budgets. When one donates to the foundation, can you earmark it towards a certain program like a student in registered nursing or a student concentrating perhaps like in palliative care or something of that nature?
You can certainly, if there's a donor who wants to direct money to a certain discipline, there's probably a fund already established for that discipline and we can help direct the money.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I hope I. Okay. Is that better? No.
Maybe if you pick up the phone and take it off the speakerphone.
No.
No?
Seems like you have two devices running at the same time.
Yes.
That's not good.
Do you have a pad and a pencil there? You could just finish it up that way.
Now we can't hear you, Joni.
Yeah, you're no sound.
That concludes this meeting of the Jamestown Rotary Club. See everybody next week.
All right. No, can't fix it.
Sounds like a song.